Hello again. I had a recent productive trip to the thrift store and came home with 11 interesting pieces of vinyl. I'm assuming that some old fella has probably passed away and his family have donated his prized record collection. Well, that was to my benefit. I'm about to start cleaning them all, and when I've done that, I'll run through what I found, and in the meantime, give you a quick repeat overview of my cleaning methods. Well, this is the first step. I usually set the turntable to 78 RPM. I don't think it makes a whole lot of difference. 45 is probably just as good. Anyway, hold the carbon fibre brush at right angles to the centre. I tend to pull to the outside slowly, then give it a second go. The final one, and this is obviously subject of great debate, I go to the centre, and I think that grounds the brush on the spindle. Okay, so let's do the other side. This record's quite clean actually. Surprising the crap that comes off some of them. Okay, now to washing. I use a Lazy Susan with a temporary spindle in the form of a inverted screw glued to the middle, and some of this stuff which you use to stop small appliances sliding around on your kitchen countertops. So the record goes on there. Next I use a spacer from a CD stack, stick that over the label, and then squirt on a mixture of isopropyl alcohol, 1/4, and 3/4 of distilled water. I let that soak for half a minute. Next I use a paint edger. They have a soft but firm base and it seems pretty good for cleaning the grooves. So I make sure that I keep in line with the grooves and usually give it at least 3 full rotations. That should do it. And next, distilled water with a foam brush to rinse. Now, I don't know how much of this to do really, but I think as long as you get the alcohol and the crud off there, that's all that matters. There we are, that'll do. And the last and probably most important part is to use the Vinyl Vac attachment to my vacuum cleaner. It has this lovely slit underneath protected by velvet. I've drawn extra lines on with Sharpie so that I know exactly where the velvet ends and the plastic begins. So we switch her on and go like this. Again, around 3 complete rotations is enough to leave the record pretty dry. I mean, they do come up sparkling. Don't know if that's visible. So that's side 1. Next I will do side 2. My recent haul totaled 11 LPs, so this morning's cleaning session was lengthy, including washing, rinsing, vacuuming, a little bit of air drying. Took me 90 minutes to do 11 albums, 22 sides. Anyway, they're all nice and clean, back in their sleeves. The sleeves I clean with Windex and paper towels. You just have to be careful with some of the older ones. It will take the print dye off if you're too vigorous, but generally speaking, it's pretty amazing for cleaning these sleeves. So once you've got all the horrible hand marks out, food stains and God knows what else, plus you've got all the mess off the vinyl itself, hand oil, shelf dust, and goodness knows what else. And it's nice to put them inside a decent inner sleeve. This one though, for example, Prokofiev Piano Concertos, London Symphony Orchestra, conducted by Andrei Previn, Ashkenazi playing the piano. This one has a rather nice lined sleeve, so I'm going to leave that as it is. There are some others though that came with very old crispy paper sleeves. So this one's Turnabout. That's an unusual label. I've not come across that before. Anyway, I use these so-called original master anti-static sleeves, and mostly they fit quite nicely into the sleeve, but there are some, here's an example. This is an older one, Angel, Beethoven 6th, London Philharmonic Orchestra, Otto Klemperer, and I'm using that type of inner because I think the sleeves are just not quite as generous in size if you get very much older. Anyway, that fits in nicely like that. So I've always got a pack of both sorts, and I just replace whatever I feel needs replacing. What else did I pick up? Bach Violin Concerto in A minor and E major. That's David Oistrakh. Deutsche Grammophon. I found quite a few Deutsche Grammophones yesterday when I was out thrifting. This one's Schubert, Symphonies numbers 5 and 8, Berlin Philharmonic, Carl Bohm. Some of these are from the 1960s and remarkably good condition. Beethoven 5th, look at that. That's Berlin Philharmonic again, Herbert von Karajan, looking rather young there. Another Beethoven's 5th, and this is Beethoven's 5th Piano Concerto. The Emperor, John Lill, don't know who he is, Scottish National Orchestra, directed by Alexander Gibson. This is on the Classics for Pleasure label. I think it's a subdivision of EMI. Rock and Pop was released often on the Music for Pleasure label. I've got an album by The Move on that label. This one was a rather nice find. Pachelbel. This is on the Erato label, and you get 2 suites. It's paired with another Johann Fasch, where you get a trumpet concerto and 2 symphonies. This is Rachmaninoff, Sonata No. 2 in B-flat major. Apparently it's recorded live in Moscow, and you have also 5 preludes to pad out the disc. This is on the RCA Red Seal label. This one's from 1973, but you can't be sure. It might actually have been recorded a little bit earlier than that. Next, Brahms, two Rhapsodies, and Schumann, Papillon and Arabesque. It's quite a nice pairing. This is on that unusual label, Turnabout. I've not come across that before. Kind of a lozenge shaped label there. I mean, I think whoever this donation to the thrift store came from must have really looked after their vinyl, because it's in very nice condition. That's an original inner sleeve, but it's nicely lined. And finally, Chopin Piano Concerto No. 2, paired with Polonaise No. 6. This is on the Heliodor label, a rather pretty orange and yellow one. This one's from 1963. You'd never know it looking at the condition of the vinyl. So, I've got quite a bit of listening to do and I'm looking forward to it. Happy hunting!